For those of you that don't know me, my name's Wayne Russell from Atlanta, Georgia, and I am finishing up my 8 weeks of treatment, actually early next week. I'm here with my wife, Leslie, who's been not just a wife to me, but my best friend, my source of strength, and affectionately, I refer to her as my chief of staff. I mean, I'd be in a whole mess of problems if I didn't have Leslie with me. And I'd also like to introduce my mother-in-law, Lynn Fight, who drove down from Atlanta to spend Christmas with us. And so we're very blessed to have her. And lastly, I would like to acknowledge Thomas Wallace. Thomas and I started on the same day back on November 2nd, and our wives and Thomas and I all met together down in the reception area, and we got to talking, and before we left that afternoon we had a golf game arranged. And we played several rounds of golf, and I'll be the first to admit he's the better golfer. But I've got the potential, and I'm going to go home and work on it. And we're going to play again down the road because Thomas is not just a proton buddy, but he's now a lifelong friend to me and a brother. Thank you, Thomas. I'd like to share 2 real quick stories about my experience here. And the first one is about the day that Leslie and I came down for our initial consultation. We walked in those doors downstairs, and I would have to say we were a little bit apprehensive but optimistic. And we walked in, and Dina was down at the front desk, and she looked up and she said, "You must be Mr. Russell, welcome." And I thought, pretty good start. She said, "Have a seat, somebody will be with you in a minute." Sure enough, somebody was out to get us in a minute. And everybody that we met that day was so caring and so compassionate and so dedicated to what they do here. It was just amazing. And when we met with my nurse, Rochelle, and then my Dr. Henderson, it was an experience like I've never had with a doctor before. They had actually read all of my medical history. They were prepared to talk to me man to man, woman to man, and they asked questions, we asked questions, we had an actual conversation. We walked out of this place and got in the car to drive back to Atlanta. And Leslie turned to me and she said, "Honey, what do you think? Where are you at?" And I said, "Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm at a 9. And the only reason I'm not higher than a 9 was because of the insurance uncertainty, which eventually was taken care of." The other story I'm going to share real quickly with you is when we finally got down here and started my treatment. Like a lot of newbies, they put me on the night shift. So the first week, my treatments were at 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10:45. And that wasn't working real good for us. And so I asked, I said, "What do I have to do to move up?" And they said, "Oh, no, you have no seniority. It's going to take you at least 3 weeks to move up on the schedule." I mentioned it to Leslie. She took off her chief of staff hat, put on her chef hat. She started cooking. That night, we went in to see the therapists with a corny poem about needing better gantry times and a big plate full of chocolate chip cookies. It was basically a bribe. So in I go. I gave them the cookies and the poem. I got my treatment. I walked out. I looked at my appointment card for the next day. 2:45. Yes! Working. A couple days later, she did something with chocolate and peanut butter. Another goofy poem. We go in, I got my treatment, walked out, looked at my card, 12:30. A couple days later, I'm down at 10 o'clock in the morning, and by the end of the second week, I was down into my 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning time slot, which is just perfect for me. All kidding aside, those therapists are every single one of them, they're angels. They're so compassionate and so careful and so respectful. And what they do, it's just, I've never seen a group of people that approach their work in such a professional but caring and loving way. And I couldn't say more about the therapists. So today, as I think about Florida Proton, back to my scale of 1 to 10, this place is a 10 in all regards. The facility itself, the staff, and the treatment program, all 10s. So, kind of in the home stretch, or to put it in baseball terms, I'm rounding third and heading for home. And I have to tell you, I hit a big home run coming here. You all did. I mean, this is just an unbelievable experience, a life-changing experience. And I'm going to take the message back with me to Atlanta. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call a staff meeting where I work. And I'm going to challenge all of the fellows that work for me to take better care of their own personal health, and particularly their prostates. So that's now my challenge. And Thomas, as I said, you and I are lifelong buddies. And I'll treat you as a brother forever. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you.